What does it mean to be a leader and leave a legacy? To me, being on this journey of entrepreneurship, what that means is that I'm constantly working toward being the best version of myself, being more aligned with what I view as my higher self, and constantly asking, what would that version of me, you might have heard me call her the rich lady Sarah, what would she be doing, thinking, feeling, saying out loud right now? And I would say that lately, with the overall environment, the economy, with business feeling a little bit more chaotic, more uncertain, definitely more shaky, it has been a lot harder to stay in that zone, and it's been a lot easier to feel myself slipping into what I feel like is survival mode, where you're inclined to hold on tighter, to work harder, to try to hustle your way through everything going on, to be putting on a happy face on the outside, even when on the inside you are feeling stressed the F out, because you're afraid that if you don't, people won't buy from you. So in times like these, how do you stay in that mode of being the version of yourself that is a leader and protects your overall peace and feels confident about where your business is going, but also protecting your profits? That's what we're going to talk about in this episode today. So sitting where I sit, I have the unique opportunity to see the real, true nitty-gritty behind the scenes of a lot of businesses, even more so than I would say business coaches and mentors in general, because I see where people's money is going. And I feel like this is a really true expression of what is happening in a business and with the business owner. And sometimes I see a pretty large misalignment between what people are projecting on the outside and what's actually going on internally. And I think that what people try to do in a lot of cases is when things feel chaotic, we take on the fake it till you make it persona, which I actually feel like is terrible advice, especially going into this age of AI. I think that being authentic and really working on your emotional intelligence and all these other intangibles, your nervous system regulation, your mindset, I think that these are going to be the skills that we need to be working on in order to have our businesses survive even through the age of AI, taking over a lot of tasks that otherwise our businesses might have done for people. So I know we've probably all seen the posts on Instagram or TikTok where people will share, these really vulnerable raw posts about my business is struggling right now. Things are not doing well. Please watch this video all the way through. Please comment. Please go visit my store. I want to show the algorithm that people really want what I have to buy. And I'm going to be honest, no shade. I understand why people post those types of things. But honestly, posting that post, you might get some short spikes in traffic. It is not going to fix the underlying issue that is going on in your business and you internally. And interestingly, I saw one several weeks ago from a post. I saw one of these posts from a business owner that had reached out to work with us a couple months back. So I got to see just a little bit more of the behind the scenes of what was happening. And I'm going to tell you what I saw was a really good example of that internal-external misalignment that ultimately is the thing driving this feeling of chaos. So I saw, expensive business decisions that did not work out. I saw team members getting blamed for business failures. And I saw the business owner not really having a solid plan or really great clarity on what they needed to do to fix it. So the post might have generated some visibility. It might have generated some sales in the short term, but it is not the fix that we need in this environment, especially to fix the underlying issues in your business. So I feel like that may be a kind of extreme example, because most of the clients that we work with are not really drastically misaligned. I feel like one of my personal values is integrity, and I try, especially through this podcast, to be pretty transparent about what I'm going through, the decisions I'm making, why I'm doing the things that I do. Because to me, I think that is one way that I can be a leader, right? So most of the clients that we have, I feel like resonate with that. And that's a value that we share. And so most of our clients are not going to be that extreme with the internal external misalignment. But I still see it happening a little bit because it is so easy to just put your head down as a business owner and execute without stepping back every now and then and saying, what's actually going on? What's actually the best thing that I need to be doing in my business right now? You just keep doing the same old things that you've been doing for months or years even, and not asking, like, is this still working? Is this still the best path forward for where we're at right now? I think it's also really easy to get stuck in the opportunity cost fallacy of seeing the past decisions we've made, the past strategies that we've implemented, the past offers, the team members that we've hired, maybe the physical locations or offices or whatever that we have invested in, and saying, well, I've put so much time and energy into these things, I don't want to deviate from that path, even though it's causing a lot of friction and this really doesn't feel super aligned with where I want to go. Because realistically, in business, we can't hold on to those things and we can't just put our head down and not step out and look at what's actually going on, because the world changes, the economy changes, the things that people want and the way people buy changes, the algorithm changes, right? And so if you're not taking the time to step up and say, as the leader of this business, am I making the best possible decisions? Am I showing up? Am I being accountable? If you're not taking the time to do that, then you're not really serving you or your business or your team in the best way that you can, because it's your job as a leader and as someone who is building a legacy to help guide your business, your team, your clients through the change. And this is, like I said, change happens all the time, but I feel like lately with all the stuff going on in the economy and like politics and across the world, especially with AI happening like so fast, I feel like these things are happening so fast, and if we don't take the time to zoom out, we will be left behind. And you'll end up with a business that costs you lots of peace and profits. So the message that I want to leave you with today is that what we need as business owners, as leaders, is radical accountability. To me, being in various leadership roles through my corporate career before I started a business, and especially since starting a business, I would say that accountability is probably one of the most important leadership skills that we can develop. And it is so hard, especially if you're like me and you are somewhat visible on social media, or maybe you just go out, you network with a lot of people, you build a lot of relationships. Like, the more you grow your business, the more visible you become. And I feel like the harder it can be to have radical accountability, because there's so much potential fear and shame around what's going to happen when I make a mistake, or what's going to happen when something I do fails. Everybody's going to see it. And so it can be really hard to own up to that and say, you know what, I did fail, or you know what, I did make a mistake, and let me fix it. Versus what I saw in the example I shared was not taking as much accountability as they probably should have. So one of my core beliefs as a leader, as somebody who has managed teams of up to 20 something people, is that as a leader, everything ultimately falls on to you. And I don't necessarily mean workload. I mean the responsibility for things happening in your business. So as the CEO of my business, even when other people on my team make mistakes, I take accountability for those mistakes, because it's not necessarily that I'm the one that personally made the mistake, did the thing wrong, said the wrong thing, but I'm the one who hired the team member. I'm the one who trained them. I'm the one who set the processes. I'm the one who did or didn't explain what good customer service is. And so ultimately, I think that as a leader, if we can take accountability for those things and say, okay, let me pull myself out of what I'm doing, take the time to be the CEO and the leader of my business, how can I build the structure and the systems and the culture and vision around me to make sure that things going on in your business are things that you want to be happening? So going back to what I initially said, what is this question of how can we protect our businesses? How can we protect our profits, our income, our overall peace? How can we not feel like we are spiraling when the world around us feels chaotic? I truly believe that it starts with accountability, radical accountability for what you are doing in your business and how you can make it better. So how can you step up to be a leader? How can you do a better job of understanding what's actually driving what's going on in your business? Or maybe what things have you been avoiding that is costing you in the long run? And if you feel like you could use some help in pulling yourself out of the weeds, you need to book a profit clarity assessment. My team and I, we don't do leadership coaching. But what I will say is that in doing the work that we do, in doing the advisory work, we talk to our clients about their goals. We deal with their money. And so we see like what's truly going on behind the curtain. I believe that we have to talk about some of the mindset issues and structural things going on in your business that you need to address in order to build a business that is profitable and sustainable. I always like to tell clients, like, we can't fix your problems for you, but we can help you get clarity around what is truly going on and where do you need to spend your time and your energy as a CEO of your business in order to make the progress that you want to see. So the first step in working with us is to book a profit clarity assessment. So you can go to trustyoungco.com/PCA. There's a short form that you fill out to give us some information about your business. We'll ask you to tell us about your goals, what's currently happening, the way you have your business model structured, and we'll ask you for financial statements so that we can do an assessment and identify what is not working and what is working in your business right now. So that is all that I've got for today, y'all. I hope that you got some good takeaways from this episode about leadership. I feel like it's a topic that I feel like we can talk about probably more as business owners, as CEOs. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you back next time.